Imagine a world where you could get anyone to say yes to you. Sounds amazing, right? Well, that's the power of persuasion. Persuasion is a skill that can change your life. Think about it. Every day we try to convince others. But here's the thing. Most people aren't good at persuasion. They fumble their words, they come on too strong, or they just can't connect. That's where mastering the art of persuasion comes in. It's like having a superpower. You can influence decisions, shape opinions, and make things happen. And the best part, anyone can learn it. Let's get started on this exciting journey. Let's talk about the godfather of persuasion, Dr. Robert Cialdini. He's identified 6 key principles that make people say yes. These principles are like the secret sauce of persuasion. Master these, and you're halfway to becoming a persuasion pro. Ready to dive in? Let's go. First up, we have reciprocity. People want to return favors, be the first to give. Next, commitment and consistency. People want to be consistent with their past actions. Social proof is our third principle. We look to others to guide our behavior. Fourth, authority. People respect authority figures. Liking is the 5th principle. We're more likely to be persuaded by people we like. Last but not least, scarcity. People want what's rare or dwindling in availability. These principles work in any situation where you need to influence others. Now that we've got the principles down, let's get practical. How do you actually use these in everyday life? I'm going to share some techniques. First up, master the art of active listening. Really listen to what the other person is saying. Show genuine interest. Ask questions. This builds trust and rapport. Next, use the power of storytelling. Stories engage our emotions and make information memorable. Third technique, frame your message positively. Focus on gains rather than losses. Positive framing is more motivating and persuasive. Lastly, use the power of questions. Questions engage the other person and can lead them to your desired conclusion. Instead of telling someone what to think, ask questions that guide their thinking. What would happen if? How would it feel to? These questions can be more persuasive than any argument. They make the other person an active participant in the persuasion process. These techniques are simple, effective, and they work. Are you ready to become a persuasion powerhouse? Let's do this. Section 4, Real-Life Success Stories, Persuasion in Action. Let's bring all this to life with some real-world examples. First, let's talk about Steve Jobs. Remember when he introduced the iPhone? He didn't just list features, he told a story and used scarcity and social proof. The result? The iPhone became one of the most successful products in history. Now let's look at Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. King used vivid imagery, repetition, and appeal to shared values. The result? A speech that moved a nation and changed history. Let's bring it closer to home. Sarah, a sales rep I worked with, was struggling to close deals. She started using reciprocity, social proof, and asking the right questions. The result? Her sales tripled in just 3 months. Finally, let's look at an everyday example. Tom wanted his kids to eat more vegetables. He used commitment, social proof, and scarcity. The result? His kids now ask for vegetables at every meal. These stories show that persuasion isn't just for big moments. It's a skill that can transform every aspect of your life. Are you ready to see persuasion in action? Let's dive in. These stories are blueprints for your own persuasive success. Persuasion can be powerful when applied correctly. Let's use these examples to inspire our own persuasive journeys. Section 5. Mastering the art practice makes perfect. Persuasion isn't just something you learn once and forget. It's a skill that needs constant honing. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. First, start small. Try to convince a friend to try a new restaurant. Persuade a coworker to support your idea in a meeting. These small wins will build your confidence and skills. Next, analyze your successes and failures. After each attempt at persuasion, take a moment to reflect. What worked well? What could you have done better? This self-analysis is crucial for improvement. Third, seek feedback. Ask trusted friends or mentors to evaluate your persuasion skills. Lastly, study the masters. Enjoy the process of becoming better every day. Section 6. The ethical dimension, using persuasion responsibly. Persuasion is powerful, and with great power comes great responsibility. We need to use persuasion ethically and responsibly. It's not just about getting what we want, it's about creating positive outcomes for everyone involved. First, always be honest. Persuasion isn't about tricking people or telling lies. Honesty builds trust. and trust is the foundation of all successful persuasion. Next, consider the other person's best interests. Ethical persuasion is about win-win outcomes. If what you're proposing isn't good for the other person, don't do it. Third, respect people's right to say no. Persuasion isn't about forcing people to do things against their will. Lastly, use your persuasion skills for good. You have the power to influence others. Use it to make the world a better place. The most fulfilling use of persuasion is when it benefits not just you, but society as a whole. Use your persuasion skills wisely and ethically.